Do you cling to your spouse, or do you become stuff if they get too close to you? Or do you really want to get married, but something is holding you back? Well, chances are it has to do with how you were attached as a child, and that affects every relationship. Think about your marriage, your family, your friends, your neighbors, or your colleagues. It has been proven that the behavior pattern you developed in the first years of your life had a significant impact on your later life. It's like a blueprint of you and how you show up in those relationships and your future one. I really want every one of us to have better marriages, good family relationships, and some loyal friends around us, because we were not born to be alone or stay alone. We need people in our lives, but only by being aware about what you need, what your spouse needs, or everybody you interact with, will you be able to emotionally connect with each other. Attachment styles are ways in which you attach to other people. It matters because it impacts how you give and receive love, and it gives you the ability to build healthy relationships with other people. These attachment styles are divided into 4 categories. Number 1. Anxiously attached. If your parents were frequently unreachable when you needed them the most as a child, you may be anxiously connected. As a child, you reacted violently when your mother left and when she returned. You wanted to be picked up, but at the same time, you could get angry and want to be put down again. As a child, you were never sure when your parents would be present for you because they frequently reacted in an unpredictable manner. In your adulthood, you struggle with self-confidence and deep down, you are worried about being left behind, even if there are no issues. As a result, you frequently and consciously cling to your spouse. You believe that you're not worthy of being loved. Although you desire a close connection with your spouse, you often and quickly are afraid whether your spouse still loves you. When the other is having a bad day, you immediately take it out on yourself. You believe that you did something wrong. As a result, you often check to see if everything is still okay between you. You always worry about not being good enough for your spouse. You take criticism very personally and see that as a rejection. You also find it difficult to trust your partner. Even if he or she is saying, "I'm not going to leave you," then for you it's still hard to believe that. Since you weren't given the right emotional care and security as a child, you are also very emotionally needy. This manifests that you always need other people's attention. Number 2. Avoidantly attached. If your parents didn't provide you with emotional support when you were a child, you may be avoidantly connected. Your parents were emotionally or physically unavailable, distant, or dismissive. When you were a child, your parents might have disregarded your needs. You might have not gotten the attention and care you deserved because they were emotionally fragile. As a result, you had to solve everything yourself, and you always ended up well with that. As an adult, you value yourself highly and you place a lot of value on your emotional freedom. You are very independent and aren't as eager to ask for help. When your spouse seeks support from you, you respond quite defensively. If you feel your partner is restricting you, you will push yourself away. By the way, this doesn't imply that you don't need the other person. It only means that you've learned to suppress the need to depend on the other person, to be important to the other, and to be accepted. You are frequently successful in your work. You are able to make lots of friends. You are very spontaneous and can be a lot of fun. The issue with you only appears when there is real intimacy. You don't have much faith in the other person. In most cases, you don't even consider that a problem, but your partner does. You set very high boundaries. These are so precise and severe that they can cause you to become distant and cold. You are extremely harsh on yourself and others. You often point out flaws in others and you never apologize because you think it's always the fault of the other. Number 3. Disorganized attached. If your parents were absent, unpredictable, or terrifying, you may be disorganized attached. One or both of your parents abused you, or your mother couldn't protect you from domestic violence, or maybe your father who struggled with an addiction. They might also become furious or very critical of everything you did and constantly give you advice on how to do things better. As a child, you had no idea what to do, who to trust, or who would come to support and comfort you, and that led to a lot of confusion. In your adulthood, you don't believe in yourself or in others. You find it challenging to respond effectively to danger. You overreact on small issues, or you feel nothing at all when everything around you falls apart. You believe that you don't deserve to be loved and supported. You see the other as rejecting as well. The world is confusing for you because you can't really rely on anyone or anywhere. For a moment, you really express a strong desire to be with your spouse, and the next minute you slam the door. You can sometimes become completely overwhelmed by your own thoughts and have no idea where to turn or what to rely on. Number 4. Securely attached. If your parents were predictably available when you needed them as a child, you may be securely connected. As a child, they give you physical and emotional needs. As an adult, you feel at ease in your marriage and other relationships. You dare to trust the offer and trust that you are worthy of love. You feel good about yourself and don't mind being alone for a while. You maintain a good balance between intimacy and independence. You seek and provide support when needed, and you can impress your own emotions as well as react to other people's emotions. You are aware of your needs and those of others. It should go without saying that you take your partner's needs and feelings into account. When you understand your current attachment style, you will understand how to become more securely attached. Yes, you heard that right. You can change your insecure attachment style and become securely attached. So you can show up anywhere with anybody and be your true self how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you. In the upcoming videos, I will provide you with the tools necessary to get rid of each insecure attachment style, inshallah. But for now, I have a question for you. Which of the previously mentioned attachment styles do you most identify with? Let us know in the comment section below.